Good evening, ladies and gents. It's Crash Clinic. We're back after a few weeks. Big apologies, of course. You probably saw I did have a flu. Still got a little bit, but there's quite a few flus that have been hanging around. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a good week. It's a bit of a windy day today, a bit of a mad one. So, yeah, I thought it's nice to be back, of course. And I've got a few things to catch up on, and then we'll get back into some new business. And I'd like to talk about maybe even rekindling where we were last year, about getting a meeting together where we can have a talk face-to-face about the industry. It seemed quite a few people were interested, so that would be pretty good. Thinking of getting Tim Kelly back on the show very shortly as well to have a nice chat. He always brings up some great conversation within this industry, and I thought between me and Tim we've got quite a bit to talk about. So obviously today I wanted to talk about courtesy cars, because that's something that I saw a bit of a topic come up on, and yeah, something that I think is a sore subject for all body shops. Just a very interesting point, but I want to try and throw another interesting point on it. I hope you get where I'm coming from with that one very shortly. Activate Group. I had a message this week that said the Activate Group. I just want to drop this out there to the independents, because obviously staff, we know, is an issue. And the Activate Group, I don't know much about them, if I'm honest, but I've been told by a call that I got this week that said they give work to their own repair centres. And what they've been doing in the last couple of weeks, because they're so desperate for staff in their own repair centres, is actually driving around with a big board. And there was a picture on LinkedIn, or was it a picture that I got sent to me, sorry, where this big board's on the back of a wagon, touting for staff and driving around all the branches that Activate use. I'm just bringing it up. I don't know anything too much about it, but I was like, wow. You can imagine what somebody had said to me was they were absolutely outraged by what was going on. I don't know if it's true. I'm just bringing up, you know me, I just talk as it, say it as it is. Activate, if you're out there, you might want to defend that. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't sound nice, does it, if you're going around poaching staff off your own body shops that you use. I was like, wow, that's a bit. Apparently the network of people who they use for repairers are going crazy. Strange one. As I say, I don't do work for them, don't even know about them, but yeah, it sounded a bit rough. Gary Brooks, how we doing? Sorry, mate. How do you call overpriced like for like when you're repairing a bag of crap that's nowhere near the car's price? How do you cull over? Oh, how do you? I'm going to presume that's called, sorry, buddy, called overpriced for like when you're repairing a bag of crap that's nowhere near the car's price. Yeah, it's how do you call overpriced or cull? Sorry, I'm just reading it a bit wrong there, mate. Like for like. How do you call overpriced like for like when you're repairing a bag of crap that's nowhere near the car? Sorry, mate, I don't quite get that, Gary. Big apologies. So I'm presuming that you're saying, how do you call an overpriced how do you call overpriced when you're repairing a bag of crap that's nowhere near the car's price? I'm a little bit lost. Cool. How do you cull overpriced like for like when you're repairing a bag of crap that's nowhere near the car's price? So I'm presuming from there, Gary, let me know if I'm right or wrong, that you're on about how do you cull overpriced? I don't know what cull means, if I'm totally honest. I thought it was cool. How do you cull overpriced like for like when you're repairing a bag of crap that's nowhere near the car's price? How do you cull overpriced? Sorry, what does cull mean, Gary? I might have to Google that one. I think he means cull as in badgers. Yeah, I'm going to try and quickly Google what the word means. 12K Jag wants a 50K higher car at. Oh, Gary, yeah. 2 seconds, mate. Yes, they do this. Van drives around other body shops. Going to finish where I was, and I'll come back to that. So, wow, Matthew Cooper has seen it as well. Matthew, how you doing? How crazy is that? First off, before we go any further, that's mental. driving around, poaching staff off the people that they use. Wow, I would imagine that that's going to infuriate some people, but that's a decision Activate have to make themselves. But yeah, not nice. But I suppose, excuse me, I've still got a bit of me flu. I suppose that's the problem, isn't it? When you've got a work provider that's got their own repair centres as well. Is that going to be a massive conflict of interest? Probably not in the early days, but as they grow, do they want more of their own body shops? Then maybe they've got a different, a different plan ahead of them by, obviously it's nasty, isn't it? I'm glad I'm not involved in it, but yeah, it's a bit rough. I'm sure the body shops that do their work are horrified. I think if I was one of those repairs and it drove past my place, I'd go and destroy it. Anyway, that's Activate repairers. That's your problem, but a horrible problem to have. Activate, come on, shouldn't be doing stuff like that. Naughty. Find your own staff, or put it in a normal manner. You know what I mean? Put it in a normal manner. If somebody comes to you, that's different, isn't it? So anyway, that's their problem with staffing. We've still got a problem with staffing in the industry. Why? Because we don't earn enough money to pay good enough wages to attract people into the industry. It's as simple as that. Cut the crap on all the other excuses. That's the crux of it. Right, where are we going here? Sorry about that. So Gary Brooks again. I've got it now. So 12k Jag wants a £50,000 hire car at £2,000 a week. I have to be honest. I'm in the industry. I'm in the game. It's a 12k Jag. Do they deserve to have a £50,000 car? I'm in the industry. I supply cars. I don't think it does, if I'm totally honest. I'm with you on that 100%. It doesn't warrant it. It doesn't, if you come down to what they call mitigation circumstances in a claim, for me, it's about the company that are providing that car. Now, if you've got a 12k Jag, it's obviously an older car. For me, when it gets that old, it kind of loses its prestige, if you like. So some people say I have to drive around in a prestige vehicle. There's nothing wrong with that guy realistically driving around in a nice Mondeo. I don't think so. If I've got a 12 grand Jag and someone offers me a nice new Mondeo, brilliant. That would cut that hire probably down to 3 or 5 grand. Now, I agree with you 100%. And I'm on the claim side, of course, as well. So, yeah, it's a bit naughty, that is. But courtesy cars, this is something that I'm going to talk about tonight in a whole, because I'm going to go over what we read in the Body Shop magazine as well, about some of the problems on courtesy cars. But I also believe, and it really infuriates me, that that we need a change in courtesy cars. So Gary will finish this off. Outside companies are jumping on offering it to claimants, then gets loaded on the claim. So outside companies are jumping on offering it to claimants. So they're offering they're not offering money. I'm a bit lost. Are they offering them the cars, or because it's the outside companies that sort of offer them these top quality cars? I just think it's wrong. It's, because any customer who's got an old car is going to go, oh yeah, well, give me this fantastic brand new Jag when I've got an old one. But that's a matter for the insurers to deal with. Personally, I'm with you, and I don't think they should be supplying that car. And I think that's down to the claims company. I really believe a claims company should not be offering a car on the stature of that car. They should be more looking at the value of that car and supplying something, what I call an equivalent. Equivalent for me would be a Mondeo. A new Mondeo would be fantastic for that person, in my opinion. But again, that's insurers are fighting that. They do fight that. But the problem with insurers, again, is they also fight the people like me, like us, that are doing it properly and would downgrade that into another car, and they still want to fight that. That's what causes the problem with insurers. But there we go. Right, sorry about that. A local company are offering $6,000 in advance payment if you go to work for them, and lucrative wages doesn't give little fish like me the opportunity to take anybody on. That is out. Are we talking the same company there, Phil? Nice to see you, by the way. Nice to have you on board. Are we talking the same company doing that? Is this is it Activate, I believe it is, or is it another group? It's ridiculous. Are we getting that desperate? I mean, that's what this show is all about, to talk about what's happening in the industry. And obviously what happened last year, I disappeared for a little while. So I'm trying to get, I've had a bit of a tough time with losing my brother and all that stuff. But we're back. And wow, this is outrageous, if I'm totally honest. Mental to see that I know, Steph. Oh, wow. Can I put your post on, Phil? Yeah, you can, because you know it's going on. So it's FMG are doing that. Wow. Now, here's a company big into the claims. Here's a company that came into the claims, ripping the insurers to pieces, and now have bought up a massive chunk of the industry and are now getting their own repair centres. So it'd be interesting to know where they're going now. Now, they have taken the insurers for so much money for so long. And this is what gets me again. It just takes one person to know one person in the insurer. I'm pretty sure they'll work with them and say, oh, if you look after us now, they must be, well, they've got their own body shops. They're doing non-fault work, I'm presuming. They're trying to pay better wages, but that's outrageous. People, it's just wrong again. Competition laws, I don't know. This is where Crash Clinic is for us guys to come together and talk about all the sticky issues, the problems that we're having, but more so, which was doing well last year, is to try and get something to overcome these problems. This is where I get annoyed now. We don't come together enough to find out how can we fix them. We talk about them, but we don't fix them. And here's again why I'm going to tell you that there's tonight. I wanted to touch on a couple of things. Is the only way you can fight insurers and fight these kind of problems. That's a slightly different problem, of course. Maybe a competition law, maybe one for our, our guru Tim Kelly, but some of these issues that we need to fight in this industry have to go legal. That's the way insurers do it. They get things passed in law, and then that sets a standard. And we don't do that back, and we need to. I'm happy to go to court. I'm happy to fight. I'm happy to do all of that. But I need the backing of us guys together, to be fair. I can't do it alone, of course. But I'm happy to run it and try and change things. That's the only way we're going to do it in this industry. Saj, I'm in. How are you, buddy? Hi, Daz. First time I've joined. Thought it'd be good for me to hear what's going on there, and compared to here in the Middle East. Wow, good listening. You take care. You take care too, Saj. We used to do a lot of work, me and Saj, over the years when he worked at Mercedes and other garages. And fabulous. I didn't realize you'd moved to the Middle East, though, mate. I hope it's going well for you, and I hope you're having a fantastic time. It's got to be better than the economy and the weather in this country. So you must be having a great time. Yeah, nice to see you, pal. If you're ever back in the country, of course, drop us a line. Be nice to catch up. Just a quick one as well, guys. I did say I'm a little bit annoyed. I had a lady supposed to be coming to see me yesterday. Didn't turn up. I've just chased it. I went and attacked my business rates because my business rates have gone through the roof. And I did tell everyone that this is something that happened where the government have just whacked the rates up over double, mine over double. So I luckily was speaking to someone on the phone about a missed payment. They thought I had a missed payment. Luckily, they found the payment. And then the girl on the phone said, oh, your rates have, gone sky high. I said, have they? And she said, yes, you need, and if you want to challenge this, you need to do it now, because there comes a time with the cutoff time where you can't challenge it. So I did say to everyone in the last couple of shows, get stuck in, make that one phone call. It could save you thousands. And that's what it's about, us guys sharing information so we can help each other. But I'm lucky because they won't come and see everybody as well. You've got to be quick. They were supposed to come to my premises yesterday, 1 o'clock, and the lady missed it. So I'm going to chase that up after this, funny enough, because it's just made me remember it, where they were supposed to come and look at my rates. Hope you've done yours again as well, because it can be a big difference. A lot of money. It's all this at the minute: gas, electric rates, all these things. We've got to try and control them. So, have a good go yourself there, guys. It's worth that one phone call to your local council. Couple of total loss claims I've got. I'm doing this back to front. I know I've bullet pointed it, but there you go. These claims that I've got, I'm going to talk about them again next week, because insurers, I've realized they've got such power with governments, with the FCA and the Ombudsman. They're not bothered by the Ombudsman and the FCA because they know they don't do enough. So I threatened, obviously, I was showing a cutout from the FCA. Even the FCA know there's a major problem with total losses. Even the FCA have agreed, you know, insurers are taking the mickey, taking too long. And they publicly posted something that said they know who they are. Wow, brilliant. That's scary, isn't it? So nothing gets done. I've still got 6 total loss claims. I keep talking about them. I'm going to let you know as and when they get settled. I'm going to point out the insurer at the point of settlement, the engineers involved. I won't give the engineer's name, but I'll give the company, of course. And the time limit it's taken, it's outrageous. Marcus Study, I messaged not yesterday, but it was Friday, to say you've got a guy here who's 7 months. He's had I think it's an 18 grand or a 20 grand Merc. He's smashed up, total loss. They are still dealing with this because they want the settlement figure from him. I personally have sent it to them 6 times for this customer, and they still keep writing. So something's drastically wrong. They're just not paying out on his claim. Now, this poor customer's paying for a car of that nature. It's probably £1 a month, 800 quid a month, something like that. And he's done that for 7 months and still hasn't even got a car. So I said to them, this is disgusting. You're supposed to treat customers fairly. This is outrageous. And I got a letter back saying, well, they'll deduct that from his settlement. Wow. So this guy's had 6 months without the car. They don't seem to care. So I wrote to them and said, can I have your complaints procedure, your FCA procedure? Yeah, it's on our website. No problem. And I had exactly the same with eSure at the moment. I've got another one that's been about 4 or 5 months. They made us made an offer on the vehicle. I said, you're taking the mickey. It's a 17 grand car. Why are you offering 10? And what they did was they have then now said they want to instruct an engineer. So they got the estimate, they've got everything they need. They've got when they ask, can I have this information? Can I have the logbook? Can I have your inside leg measurement, please? What's the weather like today? Anything but pay for that thing. So they ask all these stupid questions that mean nothing. The car's insured, it's undershored under that name, and that's the owner of the vehicle. Pay the bloody car out. But they try to do anything they can to get out of it. So this has been 4 or 5 months now, and they've just decided to inspect the car. I wrote to them and said, are you sure this is disgusting? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Again, we've got a customer here that's leasing this car and paying for this car every month. So why haven't you paid this car out? They've said, we're doing our checks. And I said, well, you're taking far too long. I want your complaints procedure and your FCA, because I'm going to report you to the FCA as well. Do what you want, they said. Our complaints procedures on our website. And they even sent me a link and said, here's the link to the FCA's website. They don't care because they don't have any recourse. And this is the problem with insurers. They've got such power, they're allowed to take the mickey this bad. Well, I've got 6 cases and I'm going to try and take every one of them to the FCA because they need to be. It's disgusting how they treat customers. They don't treat customers fairly, and all this, these new rules for insurers all over the news and papers and all this, that someone's controlling the insurers. No, they're not. They don't give a shit, is the honesty. This engineer is supposed to be a head engineer, and the one I'm talking to at the moment is the investigations. I said, why is this claim with the investigations people? This poor guy's insured his car with you. You did all your checks at the first when he insured. He's had an accident. He's been waiting 5 months for a payout, and this car's £17,000. And they're still, and he's got no car. I believe he phoned them screaming like mad last week. They don't care. It's outrageous. So I am going to sort of let you know a little bit more about that when I come to the settlement stages, because I'll let you know how long it's took and how bad it really is. Phil, I'm being charged business rates for a 2-story office block across the road, £88,000 a year, just gone up 11,000 last month. See, this is something, Phil, what you need to do, mate, is make that call. I mean, I'm quite happy if you want to message me on however you've contacted me here, this LinkedIn or wherever you are. Send me a message and I'll send you the link to who you need to speak to. I've just wrote to them and told them I know mine is wrong, because they normally measure your premises and then they put it into a category. How can it just go up that much? So they've come out, and I will let you know how that they were supposed to come here yesterday just to give me a revaluation, because I've said I want to know why. Why are you doing this? I'm not sitting back and letting people just take the mickey and put all my costs up and bills up. You've got to start asking questions. And because once they get the rates settled, of course, that's not just for this year, that's ongoing. That'll be it forever until they put it up again. So, yeah, make sure you call them. And I've been saying this for the last month. I've been trying to get everybody to phone about your rates because it's not fair. It's not fair. Us businesses are always the ones that get hit so badly. Just a quickie there to me, mate there, Saj. Take care, mate. You've been there 6 years. Fantastic. Wow. That's mad. You slipped off there, pal, but well done. And I'm sure, just let me know, are you enjoying it more than the UK? Was it a good move? And is the weather good? Because if it is, I'm jealous. Anyway, so we're back to, that's outrageous, that is, Phil. So, yeah, please do yourself a favour, mate, and make that call. It's well worth it. They can only say, oh, no, we got it right, but challenge it. I know they've got mine wrong. They can't just trip. I've gone over double. So that's going to come down, I'm hoping. Matthew Cooper, you hit the nail on the head. They simply don't care. And, yeah, it's 100% they don't care. I've got 6 cases, Marcus Studley, Eshaw, Sheila's Wheels, some other. None of they're all the same, because I get angry if once I spot them taking the mickey out of a customer, I can't help it. The tone of my emails changes. It might not do me any good, but the thing is, they shouldn't be able to treat people this way. Treat customers fairly is the thing that they're supposed to control them, but they treat customers outrageously. So how can you have such opposites? We're supposed to treat customers fairly. Well, you don't. You treat them like shit. That's the label you should have on your on your website. And I'm gonna, as I say, I'm gonna expose these people. I'm gonna tell you who it is, and I'm gonna tell you how long they've taken. And if you've got stories that are the same, please let me know. I'd love to know, because I think, again, the more information you collate, and that's the whole idea of Crash Clinic, the social network, all over up and down the UK. We can collate data, problems, evidence to try and help us, because for years we try and do it on our own, and it's not going to work. And this is what I'm going to keep homing on about at the moment. We need to do things together. If you don't want to do things together and you don't want to try and help, don't moan. That's all I can say. I'm moaning, but I'm trying to do something about it all. We know it's been tried and tried for years and years. I'm sick of it. Oh, everyone's tried this. No, they haven't tried it. They haven't done it the proper way. They haven't done it the right way. All they've done is got together in a room and moaned. They go away and do nothing about it. That's not the way to do it. You've got to make plans of action and try and do something about it. So how do you fight an insurer? Oh, you would give them a phone call and ask them nice. No, you don't. They don't listen. They're a power of their own. If you want to change in this, make changes in this industry. And I'm coming out with it quite stern now, because I'm sick of sort of trying to gently, if you want to do something in this industry, guys, you've got to make that move. We've got to get legal with insurers. And behind the scenes, I'm happy to do the work and have the meetings and get all the knowledge from all you really experienced body shop guys and business owners. And we can then stand up and fight. The only way you can do something is, what's the legal route of this? We keep asking, how do they double excesses? Is it right? Is it legal? It doesn't seem fair. Let's take it to task. Trying to not put things into body shops and pulling work out of body shops. We all moan and say it's wrong. Well, let's take it to task. That's the only way. We could have this fixed in 3 months, 6 months, but no, we keep just going on and on and on about it. We need to take it to task. I'm happy to do it, but I need everyone's backing. I need us to join together and put our heads together, because more heads are, I'm no genius, but I don't mind a fight. I'm happy to work it all out and see if we can put this to bed once and for all. We've got great people like Tim Kelly, who knows a lot about the insurance contracts and all this kind of stuff. Like for me at the moment, I'm going to slip straight into my last part tonight, which is courtesy cars. Courtesy cars have become, and it really infuriates me how courtesy cars have become the norm. When did they become the norm, and how did they become the norm? The only person who gives out a courtesy car free is a repair centre. Insurers make out they give them free. They tell everybody, yes, we get a free courtesy car. Come with us on our insurance. We give you don't give a free courtesy car. The poor repairers do, because you've bullied them for so long and you've made them supply that courtesy car. And now customers have come to expect a courtesy car, and that rolled out to mechanical sides as well. But in the repair industry, it's expected now. So what I've noticed is insurers are now slipping it into their policies, into there, to say you can get a free courtesy car. So the silly things that I want to know, if they're promising their insured a courtesy car as part of their insurance, they're saying it's free. It's free to the customer. So we supply that. Why can't we charge for it? And the only way to take it to task again is to do a repair for a customer, supply them a courtesy car, charge for it because we have to. The insurer's not going to authorize it. We're not bothered. We're going to bill the customer because the customer has insurance to cover the damage to his vehicle. So I wonder whether there's a way of us putting the courtesy car in it and taking that fight on, because then we can take one to court and say to the judge, it says in my insurance policy, I get a free courtesy car. He gets a free courtesy car. It doesn't say the body shop have to supply the car free. So because it's in his policy and it's in his wording, we can probably take it to task, at least try. Again, let's talk about it and see what we can do. The customer then says, well, hold on, in my policy, it says I get a courtesy car. Ah, but you didn't go to our garage. No, I didn't, because I wanted to go to that garage because I know them and they're brilliant. They're independent and give a fantastic service. You as an insurer indemnify me, so please pay them. These are things we all go, oh, you can't, you can, you're good, we could, we should, you would. Why don't we take it to task? Same with the doubling excess. I don't actually suffer with it, but the whole process of insurers infuriates me. I keep saying things have got to change at the moment because the industry's changing so fast around us and we're not controlling it. We've got no control in it. And if we don't get any control in it, I dread to see what the next 10 years is going to be like. It's going to be worse than ever, in my opinion. So if we start standing up, you know, if you start to stand up, then maybe insurers will say, actually, crikey, look at Crash Clinic, look at the size of this network all over the UK. We need to start listening and talking to these people because they've ganged up, they've got together, and now they've become a force to be reckoned with, and not a force, not a moaning force. I'm not interested in moaning. I'm interested in when I do things, I want to do it properly. I want to get a result because I don't want to moan about it this year, next year, year after. I want to go to court and find out, even if it's a loss. I'd rather them say, you know what, you can't do that. Okay, we found out now. But we'll be very strong in fighting to win, of course. I've never lost a case and I don't want to lose a case ever. But that's because we put our heads together with a lot of brains. So why can't we? Andrew Bird, good point on what you're saying with regards to free courtesy cars. Thanks for that, buddy. But yeah, it's, you know, why? I just hate the fact that they promote something that we give, that we as repairers were bullied many years ago into giving. And the way things are now, let's face it, our gas has gone up, our electric's gone up, our paint materials have gone up, everything's gone up. And please, we know that we're getting a slightly better labour rate at the moment. But we're still having fights with, I mean, I just watch, you know, LinkedIn and watch these things. We've got to start getting stronger and getting more, taking that time to come together and start discussing and start putting plans together of how to attack this. You know, an engineer taking stuff off an estimate. Is that right? No, it's not right. If you've put it down that it needs doing, it needs doing. So maybe, you know, even that isn't that, we're legally supposed to repair cars properly, or we get into trouble for it. And then you've got an engineer telling you to take something off it. Well, then for me, that's now playing with how I said the car needs to be repaired. So again, I'm pretty sure a judge isn't going to sit there and say, oh yeah, actually, yeah, he should be able to take that off. No, I can't see that. But again, we don't challenge. So if we don't challenge, we're going to continually be bullied. If we don't put a foot forward and say enough's enough, we're going to continue to be bullied. And that's what's happened in this industry for decades. It's quite simple because that's how insurers are. They want their cake and eat it. They always have. Now, don't be wrong. I'm slagging insurers tonight because they need slagging. But I want to get on with them. I want to create a way of working with them because I happen to know that there is a way of bridging this decades of body shops, and insurers not getting on. I don't get it. We should have the best relationship going, because you get insured, you have an accident, and your car needs repairing. So why wouldn't we get on? We all want the same thing for the customer. So I don't get the fact that we have to fight, and it's something that's just happened for decades, but it's time to change. Things have gone too bad, and I personally believe the industry is going to get even worse. I think the economy is going to get worse. So I dread to think what the next year or two is going to look like. But we've got to make a stand for the basics in our industry, which is the excesses, them taking work away and the labour rates and taking stuff off jobs. There's lots of silly little things that we've got to start standing up against and stopping. I really believe that. Now, I'm happy to, like I say, come up with plans, put things forward, and take it down the legal route to get it fixed once and for all. But I need help. I won't do it on my own. There's absolutely no point to doing it on my own, because I can't compete with insurers. I can compete brain-wise, legally wise. We do very well. We're very clever at how we argue it, but we need a bit of money behind us all. We all need to chuck into a pot and say, let's take that to task. It benefits everybody. But, we need to have that. Let's do it. Otherwise, we're just going to sit here, and this time next year, I'll be going, we're still suffering, guys. We're still suffering. The labour rate, we know it's nowhere near what it needs to be. Let's face it, I don't think we're going to know until the middle of this year where we are, when, all our bills and stuff stops going up, and gas stops going up, electric's going up. Where are we? It still takes a few months to settle down and say, actually, wow, that's how much more it's cost us over these last few months. Staffing, wages, everything's going through the roof. How do we attract the staff? There's only one way. We have to pay more money. It's quite simple. But it's not that simple when we're not earning the money. So we have to do something, guys. And the courtesy car leads me straight back into where I just wanted to talk about that today anyway. I've just actually quickly, what's that, Andy? Andrew Bird, this industry is a highly skilled, wow, massively. Repairing cars is not for the faint-hearted due to the technical and highly complex technology of modern vehicles, yet we're treated so badly. Andrew, absolutely spot on. Said beautifully. I actually don't repair cars. It's my company. I have the team that do it. My brother, who's passed away, God bless him, he was the technical. He was the body shop side. And I sold what they did. And I still to this day walk around, watch what my guys do in awe, going, wow, you guys are so talented, so clever, so brilliant. But so, it's so hard to try and pay you well. And it's heartbreaking, really, when you think about it. And especially when insurers promote all these masses of profits made. But again, insurers, you see, if you look at insurers, and I want to talk about that this year, their whole processes are wrong. The way they look at claims, the way they run claims, the way they do everything. There is a massive, easy fix in this country for claims. A very simple fix for a big network of repairers. If we're all connected, I believe I've got the answers for us to have a very big fix with insurers to make things very simple. But that's going to come out later or only to members. I'm not going to talk about that openly. But anyway, yeah, so here we are with costings all over the place. Courtesy cars. Courtesy cars started off when there was a lot of little Group A cars that were cheap, weren't there? So many years ago, you used to be able to buy these little 4 or 5 grand Nissan Micras or little tiny little cars, and people used to try and give those out to people to try and get them on a set of wheels, and one to get the work in, because I think one body shop, once one does it, then the customer wants to go there, so everyone ended up starting to have to do it. Most people just factored that in as a cost, and it was not worked out. It was not put on, you're working out your bills and everything else. Nobody was really, and for years, nobody's actually worked out what a courtesy car costs. Because I used to talk to lots of body shops and say, how much your cars cost you? Don't know, I reckon £10 a day. Do you? How'd you work that out? Well, I don't know. Because you've got maintenance, cleaning, someone to look after. One person's got to book them in and out. One person's got to move them around your yards. One person's got to clean them. One person's got to do check-in, check-out, find damage. The customer's got away with it this time. You've got to fund the repair for it. Oh, the petrol not put in. The costings of them, if they're not ran really, or even if they're ran really tight, has always been a bugbear. But now, let's face it, car prices are astronomical. So I've got quite a large fleet of vehicles, and I'm even now looking, going, oh crikey, my fleet's getting quite old now. And we've had to try and hang on to it for a little bit, but now they're getting older and we're coming to replace them. I'm trying to buy some at the moment. The cost of cars is crazy, costing a fortune. So I put a few posts out this week. I've left them for a couple of weeks, probably talk about them next week, where I'm asking people, do you buy your cars? Do you lease your cars? Do you have a mix of both? Because they are becoming a real bugbear for us body shops, because you have to have them. But I've got cars, I'll just explain now. I've got about 3 or 4 cars that are actually out with customers. They've been out there for months. They're supposed to come in and out and turn around and get me working. So you're booking work around your cars because your cars are out. You can't have any more cars. It's already a massive cost. And I've also got cars that have been written off. I've got one at the moment with a company that's been written off. It's in a compound. It's in a serious murder case or something. The car's been gone for 9 months. No, I'm lying. So it's 12 months this month. 12 months. My car's been, the police have said I'm never getting it back, basically. So I've got one car off sat there. How much is that costing me? And this thing, it's just always ends up somehow costing us repairers the money, which does my head in. So it's really bad. But courtesy cars at the moment. We've got here that how many people actually work out how much they cost them? I don't think there's many. If there is, please drop in the comments. I'd love to know anyone who's working costings out on it to say how much it costs you. The admin, traffic violations have become an absolute, I don't know about you guys, but we're right by Birmingham centre. So people going in and out of there and getting fines and then the councils ridiculously, we're not accepting that courtesy car sheet because of something, and then they send you the bill and not the customer. So now you've got to charge the customer for the bill and chase the customer because they want the easy route, anything to get the money quickly, slap it on you, but you've got a check-in sheet that says they're responsible. I don't know if anyone else has had that, but I've had that a lot since January, because I know the governments are getting tighter and they know they've got more chance of getting money off us than they have the customers. Another cost for us that the courtesy car is creating. Absolutely terrible. We need more vehicles because of the fact that, repairs are taking longer. So this circle just goes on, and it's us that are funding it. It's us that are funding it. Always us. And I think I was talking to somebody last week who said more body shops are going to go bust. So I actually put out another question this week as well, which made me think, how many body shops, because I happen to know myself and know a few personally that have done it. I've done it as well. I had to, that have put money back into the business to make it survive because of COVID. And we're still paying that now. That's an ongoing cost because we had to put money back in to make the business survive because COVID was bad. So I'm still suffering from it. I'm still paying back from it. Probably will for another year or two yet. So what I'm going back is these are costs that are not into a normal average daily business. I've got now, I've got my COVID costs still ongoing probably for another year or two. That's not a normal daily running business. I've got all the, the everything that's going up. It's getting really, hard, really annoying. We need more money. And everyone says, you factor it into your labour rate. We all know the labour rate's never been anywhere near what it should be. And it's still, I know we've managed to get some increases. The non-fault rates are getting a bit more like it, but we're still miles away. I'd actually love to see now what the dealerships are doing, because the dealership gap was always huge. A dealership would charge this and we would charge that. I would love to know. I normally do a bit of homework. I'm going to start doing that. But again, if we had the network, I wouldn't have to do so much homework because we do the homework between us and we share the knowledge. And that's the important part of it all. Let's have a quick look here. Toyota Aygo X is now £190 a month. Over 36 months, 1 times 35, only 8,000 miles. So you get charged if they go over. And that is just the lease cost. The class of the car 2-3 years ago was £130 over 12 to 24 months. So that time, that increase per month, your fleet size, and times that by it is a lot of money. But you've also got to put down, if that's £190 a month, crikey, 36 months and only 8,000 miles, you're going to get hit with a mileage bill. At some stage, you always don't. You You get away with it for a few months and you're watching it, and then one customer gets it and he goes out and does loads of miles, and you're like, oh no, because you're going to get charged with it. Oh, it's a nightmare. And yeah, we do. We'd be interested to see a true transparent costing of each repair with actual costings of loan cars, recovery costs, and you're on my wavelength tonight, because this is what I've the last week is what I've been going through. I haven't got the time to physically do it myself at the moment, but everything else included, and then compare to what cost the insurance are actually paying. It would be a great thing to do, Andy, but I think the problem is once we realise we're in negative equity, we'd all get too scared. There are major problems, in my opinion, in this industry at the moment, and a lot of it is being swept under the carpets and ignored, I believe. And this is why I want to bring us all together to talk about it, because sometimes it needs someone to tell you, how much you're struggling or where the problem areas are. I know a lot of people are coming out saying they're making money, and great. It seems to be a couple of newbies to the industry, because if you went through COVID in the last 5 years, you've got a lot of debt to have sucked up that you've got to somehow incorporate into your profits and get rid of that over the next couple of years and try and start. The aim for me is to start again in 2 years' time. It's ridiculous. We're fighting daily and we're still paying debt from COVID, and the government seem for some reason to think that it's gone away, which is outrageous. So the courtesy car, as I say, has got a lot of increase in the whole process. Petrol, I'm talking about petrol. Petrol's gone up. The car leasing's gone up. Car prices have gone up. So whether you lease, you buy. I used to do all these little exercises many, many years ago. What is it better to lease, better to buy, better to? I own my fleet, luckily, but that's just because of the way it went over the years. But now, because even I'm looking at trying to pull some of the cars back in to release some equity back to get rid of some of that debt and maybe do some contract leasing. But I'm looking at the costings of it going, wow, no, I'm not. Can't afford to. It's just not viable to do that. But I'd like to get, some newer cars in. And do you have you have a small fleet. Your cars are just going to get tied up. We shouldn't be we should not be paying that fee. It should be a separately run thing. And insurers, I'm afraid, should be paying for it. If they want to tell their customers they're giving them a free car, I think they should be bearing the brunt of this cost. I really do. But there is a very clever thing that I've got that I'd like to talk to insurers about, because there is a way for an insurer to pay for a courtesy car and it wouldn't hurt them. But we need to rewrite the industry for that. And when I say that, I don't want it to sound complicated, because it's not complicated. There's a very simple way we could make this industry work for body shops and for insurers. Quite simple. List price of cars have gone up by over 30% in the last 18 months and discounts reduced. And that's before you look at the stupid electrical vehicle mandate in 2030. You're right. This is what I'm saying. I've had to, this is my first time since COVID, looking to buy a few more cars. And I've gone, wow. Some of these old cars are now fetching a fortune. The electric cars are just ridiculous. It just saddens you, doesn't it, when you think it's just us repairers that get the bad end of the stick all the time. So courtesy cars for me are, I just think again, if you stuck together and we didn't supply them, would it fix the problem? Is our industry big enough and strong enough to stick together and say, no more free courtesy cars? And it's like someone sent me a contract the other day and I nearly choked. Do you want some work? Free storage, free recovery. I went, yes, right, on your bike. Even recoveries have gone up because petrol's gone up. If you're outsourcing it with it, or even if you're insourcing it, it's gone up because your petrol's gone up. So I just think, guys, this is a tough time in this industry at the moment. I've been saying it for at least a year, haven't I, that the industry is going to change drastically. And I knew all this was going to happen. It was sad to hear that the person I was talking to last week really believed there's a lot of body shops going to go bust again. And I then sat there and thought, crikey, I thought, I know there was a load went after COVID. You expected it. But yes, you know what? There's a lot of people, I'm one of them, with COVID debt still. And because you rode that and you did the right things, it's tough times. We're just not, in my own opinion, getting enough money to repair cars. And If we don't stand together to fight certain issues, they're never going to change. That is one thing for sure. They're never going to change. And that's because insurers are so strong. They are a law unto themselves. I mean, I can't get these poor customers paid their total losses. I want to issue it. I've said, look, let's stop messing around. Let's just issue on them, because it's ridiculous. If I've got 6 jobs that have gone over 6 months, my new process is going to be 30 days. I want an answer, or I want to sue them, because it's outrageous. Evening all, how are we doing, Brett? Hope you're well, mate. Sorry I'm late to the party tonight. I hope everyone is having a great week. I'll catch up on it later. No problem at all. Nice to see you on, buddy. I'm going to catch up soon. I'm definitely going to come over. My cold's nearly gone, and I'll come over, and I don't want to pass it on to you, my mate. It's been a horrible one. Andrew Bird, give policyholders 2 options before going ahead with new policies. 1, basic policy without all the extras, or 2, put the policy but includes the garage of your choice, a loan car, etc., etc. Let the policyholder decide what they want in the event of making a claim. That's a see straight away, Andrew. I like that. They should be able to offer, here's a route without a car, and here's a route with a car, and that way an insurer could help the body shop. And it shouldn't be, only for our improved repairers again, because they can't get cars in. So the customer should have an allowance for a car. For instance, like you've just said, your insurance is 800 quid without, it's 900 quid with, whatever it might be. It might only be 50 quid, because the more people club together, they make a pot of money, and that's how insurance works. So maybe something that needs something, because insurers, I believe, need to sort of look at the whole industry as well as us and say, yes, it is tough. We are struggling to put cars in places. Body shops are going bust, so we need to help them somehow. And again, this is where I say I want to talk with insurers. It'd be lovely to sit down, put all the problems down, and actually look for ways of fixing it, because I've been to a few shows. I've been to some ABPs and some car ones last year, and some the I Love Claims and all this, but I'm afraid they just talk a lot of shit. I'm putting it quite frank, and I'm sorry for that, but that's the way it is. I sat in the one and I listened to these insurers who sat there. We want to work with you. We want to go green, and we want to set up an academy to help kids. That's not going to help kids come into the industry. I got the 2 guys after and had a quick chat with them, and I said, look, I've got a way that would fix this industry. Would you be happy to talk? And they said, of course we would. We'd have a... No, sorry, they just... And then I said to them after about 10, 15 minutes, it would save you millions. And they went, oh, okay, that'd be worth half an hour. But insurers' mentality, they go to these shows, they talk about being green. That's not helping anyone apart from, the planet. They talk about these, they talk about the issue, but they don't talk about the fix. They talk, and then the repairers come on and talk about the issue, and they're too scared, because insurers are there to talk about a fix. Everyone just says, something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. Yeah, something's got to be done. And that just goes on and on and on. It has done for 30 years since I've been in the industry. So the only way you can make a change is the legal route, which I've told you. I'm happy to sort of, I've put up this week that I think we should do a Saturday morning. I'd love to do that and talk to like-minded body shops and repairers who are all going through the same problems. And we're all, there's a lot of great guys in this industry. You're all, let's face it, we're in a tough industry to make money. So you've got to be good guys. You've got to be clever guys. So we should put our brains together and start saying, look, we're never going to fight insurers. And the reason is because we're too small on our own. We always have been. So maybe we come together, we start meeting, we start talking, we start listing out all of our problems, and we stand up. Once the insurers see you stand up, hopefully they might say, well, do we want to fight them as well, or do we want to get on? That's what I want. That's what you want. I just want to repair cars. I want to repair as many as I can to the best standard I can. So insurers should want the same thing that I do, that we do. So, and this courtesy car thing has just got to change, because it's another chunk of money out of your... imagine not having to... some body shops don't have them or won't have them. But imagine if you do have them, I have them. If you didn't have that cost, what a relief that would be, and what a help that would be to the body shop. But like you say, Andrew, if they just put that little bit of money onto a policy, if you don't want a courtesy car, and I think that's the way they should go, because unfortunately, insurers, because they bullied us to all give free courtesy cars, they go, oh, look at us, we're lovely. We give free courtesy cars, direct line, yeah, let's give free courtesy cars. And they don't. We do. That's one question I'd like to know, actually, thinking about it. Direct Line, DLAM, have got their own Direct Line accident management. They advertise courtesy cars. Do they supply the courtesy cars? Does it come from enterprise or a daily rental? I know many years ago when there was a lot of Direct Line body shops, they still had to supply the cars, but they took a lot of work inside to some of their sites. I'll be very interested to know if they supply courtesy cars. Do we know anybody working there? Please let us know. That would be a great one to know, actually. But anyway, guys, I've had enough of your time. I didn't mean to go on too long. I'm trying to keep it to half an hour so I don't bore you too much. I want to get together and have a good meeting. Please have a look on LinkedIn page. There's a couple of polls there. If you would like a meeting, let me know. I think we need one. There's far more issues than this to talk about. This is just something I wanted to sort of get some feedback from you guys on what you think on courtesy cars. Andrew has obviously told us fantastic. He's done a bit of work there as well. They are a lot of money. A lot of money. They are. Someone's popped on here for us. They leased them, or they did last year. Right. Well, again, here we go. So, yeah, but their own insurers, are they? So they're happy to, do they absorb the cost from their body shop? Be interesting to know what they do, because, again, we know Direct Line are actually about churning as many crappily repaired cars as they can. We've put cars right for them. I'm sure other people have as well. They're all about volumes, and last I saw, they didn't really care about the quality. We do, and that quality comes at a cost. Comes at a cost to repair them properly. We know that. But yeah, okay, guys. I think I've gone enough about courtesy cars. They've gone up, gone through the roof. I think it's time for them to disappear. Customers have become, or insurers have become, to expect them. I don't know when that actually happened now. You know, oh, I need a car, want a car. I'm entitled to a car. Give me a car. So bloody heck. But yeah, it's become the norm. And that's because of insurers have made it become the norm. When I think insurers should now start saying that they don't supply them. Take some extra. Would you like the car option? Put a little fee in there for it, and then from putting a little fee in that, they can give us money to repair a car, and they should. It would be cracking. Maybe we can start something where we charge a pot of money for people to pay in. A courtesy, like the old ULR policy is a courtesy car policy. It puts a big pot of money there, and then we can pay ourselves for the courtesy cars. Something's got to happen. We've got to think of something, and I'm sure we can. Phil Mayfield, Direct Line are offering work provision at £26 an hour. Crikey. And I hope there's no courtesy car with that one, Phil. Wow. Outrageous. Insurers paying for repairs at Aldi prices, but with Rolls-Royce costs. You couldn't have said that any better, Andrew, for me to wrap tonight's show up. And thank you very much, because, yes, you are right, but it can't go on. I do believe there's a lot of people on borrowed money and borrowed time. I've been speaking to a few people who think there's going to be, more people going to the wayside, which is horrible to hear and even worse to see. And we don't want that to happen. Insurers have got to do something to help us work together. But I'll be back next week with some new. If there's anything you want to discuss on that, by the way, guys, then please let me know. But I'd like to have a meeting very soon. In the next sort of couple of months, I think would be great to have just a coffee morning, get together, have a chat, just discuss, very blasé. We just discuss lots of points on the industry. I can take lots of little points down, and then we can pick through and say which are the most serious points, or which are the quickest ones we think we can do some quick fixes, some longer, some bigger fixes somewhere, and maybe start making some plans. That's what we need to be doing, is making some plans of how we, as an industry, can move forward. I don't want to be bullied anymore. I'm sure you don't. I've been bullied for 35 years in this industry. But there is a fix. That's the worst part of all this. It doesn't have to be like this. And insurers know. I think insurers stop wasting money, and I can tell you exactly where you're wasting your money, insurers. Look at these total losses. They've all been open cases for 9 months. Why? 6 months, sorry. 6 months, 6 cases, 6 different insurers. That's an open claim on somebody's desk costing money. Personally, I would be looking at 4 to 6 weeks to have a total loss claim inspected, valued, discussed with the customer, and you know, removed out of the storage. All of these cars are still in storage. And this is the new argument I'm having with the insurers, because they're saying, you're not letting us take the car. Of course, I'm not letting you take the cars, because you've not agreed the valuations. It's theft. If you've not paid for that car, why should you take the car? You'd have took the car, sold this car on, done your part, made your money, and the poor customer's still sitting there going, I haven't got a car. But the insurers took it, sold it as salvage. It's in a breaker's yard. Everyone's earning money, but the customer is still stuck. It's outrageous. Anyway, if no courtesy car, you have to rent at a cost to yourself. I think they should just move it. I really do. I think insurers now should stick with us and say, you know what, yeah, it is time. These guys are really suffering. We don't want to lose any more repairers. So how can we, as an insurer, help them? You can help us by telling your customers now the courtesy car is a thing of the past. There's no courtesy car unless you want to pay extra now for the courtesy car. But if you pay extra, then you can pay us, guys, because you'll be collecting enough money in to do that. And I think you should start. It's again, these are things insurers need to sit with us and sort of say, how can we help you? How can we help the industry? And not just talk amongst themselves, because that's not the answers. They need to come out into the real world, sit around the table with us guys who are in the real world and say, how can we, you know, what can we do to fix these kind of things? Anyway, guys, took enough of your time. Thanks for tuning in. It's been great. Courtesy cars. Madness. I never know why we actually ever got involved in supplying courtesy cars in the first place. Whoever did it, I'm sure we could, you know, get round the neck, but must have been a long time ago. Must have been a good idea at the time, just to sneak work in from elsewhere. But anyway, it is what it is. They are there. They are a pain, but the cost of them is becoming obscene. So we need to do something about it. Anyway, guys, please go on to, if you can, go on to our LinkedIn channel. You'll see some posts there where I'm asking questions. That really helps to get a feel what's going on in the industry. I put quite a few questions out here and there, but the biggest one at the moment is a Saturday morning. Would you like to do a Saturday morning get together in Birmingham, have a chat about the industry? And I don't mean just a waste of time chat. I'm not a waste of time guy. I like to do things, but I do like to know. I think we all need to get to know each other better. There's plenty of work in this world. Body shops used to fall out years ago because they're all fighting for work. I don't think we've got that issue anymore, guys. What we do need is to maybe get on a lot better. Other industries do. Don't know why we never have, but we need to form a stronger force in the UK. So if you're like me and want to do that, then tick that box and say, yes, I'd like to, get together and have a coffee. And let's see what we can do. Right, guys, I'm going to leave you to it. Didn't mean to go on so long. Sorry about that, but there you go. I haven't been here for a while, and I shouldn't have been talking this much. I've still got a flu. My throat's killing me. But still, I'll see you next Tuesday, and I might even try and get Tim on, because I think Tim's going to be quite a big thing for us in the industry as well. And I think Tim should come along to some of those meetings. He's a great guy, got a lot of knowledge, and I think he can help our industry a lot. But again, he can't do it on his own. And Tim's quite happy to fight away on his own, like I am. But we've got bigger problems than that, and we need to stick together. Take care. Have a great week. I hope you make lots of money, and I hope the weather gets a bit better for us all. We'll see you next Tuesday. Oh, click the wrong button. Right then. See you next Tuesday.